Before you can actually start with Avaya iX Workspaces, you need to make sure that your desk phone or soft phone is up and running. There is one exception: agents that work only on SMS, chat, email, or social contact types. So if you are working on voice contacts, now is the time to start up your phone. Now that you have logged in your Avaya soft phone for voice agent access with Avaya iX Workspaces, let's consider some other possible actions. In addition to Avaya soft phones, you may also register Avaya desk phones or non-Avaya soft phone for voice agent access with Avaya iX Workspaces. Also note that registering phones, whether they be soft phone or desk phone, is not required for SMS, chat, and/or email-only agents. Once Avaya iX Workspaces is deployed and configured, access is going to be through your browser. Make sure your administrator provided you with a username and password, as you will need this to log on. Now that you have logged in with your username and password and activated your voice extension, let's consider some other possible actions. On the Activate Agent window, there are two key fields: the profile and the extension. In our demo, both fields defaulted to values stored for the user. We used the profile voice, but depending on the profiles defined for your user, you may have the ability to select from other profiles. As with the profile in our demo, the extension was pre-selected. However, if hot desking is allowed, your Avaya administrator can enable users to be prompted for extension at login. In this instance, you will need to enter a valid extension and then activate. The Agent Workspace page has an easy and intuitive layout that provides different types of contact channels, such as voice, chat, SMS, email, and social interactions. It is very easy to find your way around the page, but let me give you a guided tour to the various areas. Now that you have explored the key areas of Agent User Interface, which includes the Agent Toolbar, Interactions area, Navigation menu, Interactions Summary, and the Agent State Summary, let's consider some additional options available from the user interface. From the Navigation menu, you'll notice a gear icon available, which provides access to the user interface settings. Within the settings, you have several pages to choose from. You should take some time to familiarize yourself with these options. From the Language tab, you can change the language of the user interface. Now, let's take a closer look at the Agent Toolbar. Here you have your basic call and contact controls, and you can set your agent state. Now that you have explored the call and status controls within the Agent toolbar, let's explore another option available. Within the demo, you explored the Agent toolbar. You may have noticed the circular icon within the agent name. When there is an image associated with the logged-in agent, this icon should reflect the agent's picture. Note that the administrator must associate the image with the user for it to display on the toolbar. Good to see you back. Changing your agent state lets you control the interactions that come to your agent profile. The system, as well as your supervisor and other team members, will be able to check if you are ready to take on a new interaction or not. So, it's a good thing to keep your agent state current. Now that you have explored your agent states, from starting work to breaking and resuming work to finishing work, let's take a closer look at some of the options you explored. As you saw in the demo, the agent status menu is dynamic and changes based on the current context. When you first log in into Workspaces, you only have the option to start work and exit. Once you start work, the only available options are additional work, go not ready, and finish work. Notice the go ready option shown in the demonstration does not appear initially. The go ready option is only available once you've selected go not ready or additional work. Starting an interaction is quite an easy task in Avaya iX Workspaces. Let me show you the different options within the Agent toolbar. By the way, all calls are generated through your soft phone, but you don't see that as the full call control is within your Avaya iX Workspaces application. Now that you have explored the outgoing call options within the Agent toolbar, let's explore some other related actions. As discussed in the demo, you have the option to enter the number to be dialed in the Enter Phone Number field. Note that in addition to digit entry, the dial pad provides you access to quickly dial the last number via an icon in the Agent toolbar. To dial the last dialed number, click the Redial icon. Well, sometimes you just need some more minutes to finish up on the last call, take some notes, send out some email, do some research. You probably know what I'm talking about. And of course, you don't want to have the next customer waiting and waiting until you are actually ready. For these situations, you can activate the Additional Work state. This gives you those undisturbed moments to finalize an interaction until you are ready for the next client. Now that you have explored the additional work status and available options, let's explore the status a bit further. As highlighted in the demo, the Agent toolbar turns blue when additional work is selected. However, notice that when you select additional work from the status menu, the Agent status summary at the bottom is yellow. This is because the status summary reflects the overarching agent status shown as not ready. In addition, you'll see the work code for additional work. You can compare this with what you see for status summary when one of the Go Not Ready options have been selected from the Agent status menu. The address book pulls your contacts from the Enterprise directory, so you can have them conveniently available in Avaya iX Workspaces. It will separate the team contacts, Enterprise directory contacts, and Salesforce contacts, if available, in different tabs. This way, finding contact information is easy and quick, and helps you to stay synchronized with the external tools for both collecting info and making calls. Now that you have accessed the address book contacts pulled from Enterprise Directory or Salesforce, let's take a closer look at the navigation. As discussed in the demo, you select the address book icon to access your contacts. Within the address book listings, you can select the name to explore the details associated with each contact. Within the demo, we used the phone icon to initiate the call. Note that this icon will only initiate a call to the default number identified by a star in the contact details. If you'd like to contact another number stored for the contact, you can select the appropriate link within its details. Additionally, the arrow in the top left-hand corner returns you from the specific contact details to the contact list. As an agent, a very important area is the work card area. This is where your work comes in, no matter what channel a client chose to contact you. This is where they get queued for you. Now that you have explored the interactions area, let's take a closer look at the interaction cards. If you have a number of cards that don't fit in the word card area, you can navigate and find the ones that you want to handle using the buttons on the left and right sides of the area. Note that the icons on the buttons indicate the type of interaction they are in the area. You can manage all interactions through the work cards that queue up in the work card area. I'll now show you how to accept an incoming interaction. It's quick and easy, no matter what kind of interaction it is. If it's a voice call, SMS, chat, email, or social. Now that you are familiar with accepting the different type of interactions, let's consider some other possible actions. You can easily identify the types of interactions based on the icon on the upper left-hand corner. You can easily differentiate the type of media in addition to the widget that display information that complete the interactions. Sometimes you figure that you are just not the best person to care for a certain client issue. In these cases, you may want to transfer the interaction to someone else, someone who is better suited to help the customer. Avaya iX Workspaces supports call transfers for voice interactions. Now that you have transferred interactions via direct dial and team, let's consider some other possible actions. As mentioned in the demo, you can also transfer an interaction to a contact in your address book or dialing the extension. However, you can also choose a service to transfer this interaction, which will send a request to Avaya iX Digital to find the best agent to handle this contact. This can be done in cases that the interaction came to you in error, or you cannot help the customer and the interaction must be sent to a service that is better equipped to help him. Here's the next task. You can choose to start a conference when requesting someone else's support with a specific call instead of transferring the interaction. You can use the same tools I showed you earlier. Now that you completed an agent consultation by placing the customer on hold, contacting another agent, and conferencing them in, let's consider some other possible actions. You may want to speak to the customer who you placed on hold prior to bringing in the second agent. In this case, instead of immediately selecting the consult button for the agent call, you would instead select the pause button to resume the call with the customer and place the consulted agent on hold. In addition to conferencing the agent in, you could also choose to transfer the customer to the consulted agent by selecting the transfer button. Note that the conference feature is available only for voice calls in Avaya iX Workspaces. In a busy day, I am pretty sure you will receive multiple interactions simultaneously, so you might have to switch between interaction cards to communicate with different customers. Now that you explored switching between two interactions, remember that you can put the first interaction on hold before selecting the other interaction if needed. Avaya iX Workspaces displays different interaction widgets depending on the type of interaction you are working on. When you log in, the system displays the team list and welcome widgets. For voice interactions, you'll get customer details, history, and interaction details. For chat, SMS email, and social interactions, you get respective response options, as well as suggested content displayed in the widget. Let me show you some examples. Now that you have explored the interaction widget, let's introduce some additional features for chat interactions. When you're in a chat interaction, you can transfer a single file at a time. The maximum size of files to be transferred must be below 2 MB. Customers can download the attached files from the chat interaction only if the chat interaction is in progress and the file is linked to the customer's chat. Chat interactions can also allow the co-browse, where the agent and customer can browse the same web page simultaneously. This feature will be explained later in the course. When you are working with emails, some additional options are possible. You can start an outbound email interaction, attach files or images to an active email contact, and forward an email and its associated content to a user outside of the contact center. During an active email interaction, agents can manually enter the destination email address. Otherwise, as you type, autocomplete suggestions are displayed from your enterprise directory if email address is configured. When an agent is unable to address a customer email immediately because he or she requires additional research or needs to consult with an expert, the agent can defer the customer email. Now the agent will have sufficient time to properly answer the email. To defer emails, the email should be active in the agent. Deferred reasons must be configured by the Avaya administrator. The agent who is deferring the email must select the appropriate deferred reason and a new time to defer the email to. So you are chatting with a customer and he's explaining a problem. You would like to show him a website that would be helpful. Would it not be neat to show him directly without having to explain the navigation on that site? You guessed it, Avaya iX Workspaces has a solution for you. Now you have initiated a co-browse session with a customer. Let's explore what an active co-browse session looks like. During an active co-browse, you can view what the customer is doing once the customer has approved the session. You can also choose to take control if approved by the customer or release it when you have completed the action. Note that the co-browse is available only for chat interactions and must be enabled on your system. The customer journey is another powerful tool that provides a graphical representation of the customer's interactions. Every point in the customer journey is visualized by an interaction with a channel, such as voice or web chat. This way, it allows you to view the last time the customer reached the contact center, building up his or her journey in Avaya iX Digital. Now that you explored the Customer Journey widget to review the end-to-end graphical representation of the customer's journey, let's take a closer look at the customer details. The demo explored the Customer Journey widget. The other widget that displays is the Customer Journey Details. Avaya administrators can enable this widget to view the details of an interaction. Note that the customer information is available for any interaction type. Sometimes, while you are working on an interaction, you want to look up some information that Avaya iX Workspaces does not provide. Let's say your customer wants to update her address on her insurance policy, and you need to look it up on a map. Screen Pop lets you open predefined external websites, so you can do your research without opening a second browser and jumping back and forth. That's convenient, right? Now that you have initiated screen pops during interactions to look up information, let's explore some security concerns. If the external web content used for screen pop is sourced from non-secure sources, the content can be blocked from being displayed. To prevent this blocking, to allow viewing content that is sourced from HTTP sources when accessing the client over HTTPS, you must configure your browser to accept non-secure content. You can use the Timed After Contact Work feature to record the time spent on activities that are done after the interaction ends. For example, for adding notes or dispositions for the interaction. How nice is that? Now that you have explored the timed after contact work, let's explore the status a bit further. The timed after contact work does have the same purpose than the additional work feature, which is record the time spent in activities done after the interaction ends. The difference is that the timed after contact work feature starts automatically right after the interaction ends, while the additional work feature must be activated manually by changing your status when you understand you need some additional time without being handling a contact. This is good for the memory. You can search customer history to find information about previous interactions with the customer. Customer history search is available for non-voice interactions and when agents are working on an interaction. If needed, it is possible to search using multiple parameters. Now that you are familiar with accepting the different type of interactions, let's consider one additional detail. Just non-voice interactions support this feature, so you are only able to make this search while working with email, chat, SMS, and social interactions. When your Avaya iX digital solution has integration with the Avaya Workforce Optimization Select product from the Avaya iX Workspaces, you can access the Avaya Workforce Optimization Select portal for things like notifications, evaluations, and others. And the agent can also start a recording for quality purposes. It is important to remember that Avaya Workforce Optimization Select icon to access the portal is just available when the customer has the integration between Avaya iX Digital and Avaya Workforce Optimization Select. Avaya iX Digital offers the ability for an agent to work in an outbound voice communication. The outbound capabilities are provided via integration with the Avaya Proactive Outreach Manager. A nail-up call is generated to the agent's phone to start the interaction. The agent at login time is assigned to work on Avaya iX Digital Inbound Work or on POM outbound campaigns. Agents cannot be blended to work on inbound and POM outbound simultaneously. Did you know that Avaya iX Workspaces provides some keyboard shortcuts to easily access frequently used tasks? Without needing the agent toolbar or your mouse, you can change your status by just using a few simple shortcuts with your keyboard. Do you want to know what's available? Now that you explored the key shortcuts for starting work, finishing work, going ready, not ready, and exiting, let's highlight some additional shortcuts available. In addition to the shortcuts demonstrated, there are also shortcuts that are available to navigate between interactions, accept and reject interactions, hold and unhold interactions, explore interaction card drop-down menus. You can use these shortcuts to quickly perform these functions. How are you doing so far? You can easily choose which types of interactions will have a specific audible indication, in addition to the views in the interaction area. Thus, you can differentiate the interactions, giving more attention to specific types depending on your preference. You can also change the language of the Avaya iX workspaces. Now that you configured the audio notifications, let's explore some other settings available. In the CRM tab, you can specify the login credentials for Salesforce required for the address book options. After you add a username and password, if you select Remember Credentials and save the details, the system stores the data for using later. At times, if the system cannot recognize the credentials you stored earlier, you will see the following message: CRM token expired. To clear this message, you must enter your CRM username and password again. How are you doing so far? You can easily choose which types of interactions will have a recognize the credentials you stored earlier. You will see the following message: CRM token expired. To clear this message, you must enter your CRM username and password again.